Hey everybody, this is Doug the M-Tech. We're going to go over today on some features on the Redline Embroidery Machines to get you familiar with some of the basics. Okay. First thing we will do is explain that when the machine is shipped, they are shipped with the thread rack in the down position. So we are going to actually come in here and there's a set screw on this post. You're going to loosen this one, and then there's one to the front right here. You're going to loosen this one, and then once both those are loose, you'll be able to actually lift up your thread rack. And as you can see, there's a flat spot here where it was at from shipping. We're going to lift it up till we find the flat spot on the bottom, which is way down here, and we'll bring it back down to have the set screw there. And this is where we are going to tighten up our set screw on this thread rack for running embroidery. And you're going to do both set screws. Yep. Alright, once you get your machine and your stand is assembled, you're going to pick the machine up and put it onto the stand. You will have 4 bolts to assemble your underneath the frame to the machine on each corner, and 2 on the other side of the machine. And we do have a pad which is optional if you want to put under here for vibration, things like this. It's not necessarily needed, but it's optional if you want to put it in. You can put this in. When you receive your machine, it will be pre-threaded. It'll be in the needles and threaded properly all the way up through the sensor wheel, tension assemblies, through the tubes, and basically to the back of the thread stand. And it should have it taped to the back side. You're going to take these tails of the thread and bring them out to actually put cones of thread up. Okay, to put thread up to your already pre-threaded, put your new cone up. Old thread, new thread, throw the new thread over top. I'm going to do a basic loop knot, back down through the hole, pull this through, pull this tight. Now this should pull all the way down through the needle. There you go, so new cone of thread up on that needle. Okay, when you receive your machine, it will have the cap driver and cap on the machine from the last testing they did. They test it before they ship them out. They do tubular first, and then they do the cap last. So the easiest way to change over is you have 3 clamps up here. 1 on the left side, 1 on the right side, and 1 on the bottom. This will release all 3. Then your cap frame becomes loose. Rotate it to the right or the left to get by the needles. And then to remove the driver, you have 1 set screw here on the left side. Phillips screwdriver, just loosen. 1 on the right side. And once that's both loose, you pull straight out. Now your driver's off. And when we take the cap driver off, we're going to put the tubular arm same location as the frame came off. 2 set screws, just tighten these up. Same with the right side, same place the cap driver came off. Alright, at this position where our arms are, our hoop should slide right in and lock into position. If you have problems with your frame locking, you can actually adjust from your set screws again, little out, in, whatever you need to adjust, tighten it back up so it locks. And at this position, all your frames should work except your extreme large frame. Extreme large frame is going to move the tubular arm out to the outside. There's also available as an aftermarket hoop. These are magnetic, very strong magnetic, and these will fit the frames as well. And they're available in our store. Our thread rack is positioned with 15 cones of thread. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And up top, first color will be directly below. Second color, directly below. So it's going to go through both eyelets. Third color, directly below. That one goes through all three. And as you see, they are marked up front with each number for each color. Now we're going to show you how to thread from the start. From the thread rack all the way down to the needle. Goes through the back of this eyelet to the front. There we go. In between the two discs, on the inside of the post, and this was where we took the tube off already. Okay, we're going to grab our thread, give ourselves some slack here. And this is the tool that comes in your toolbox. It's for the tube. You're going to feed this wire through the tube. Till it's out the end. And you should be able to just grab your thread and pull straight through the tube. Now you're through the tube. This just clips up top on this rack. And then we come down to the here and lock this one in. There we go. And this is a little tensioner as well. You want to make sure you're underneath these clips in the opening. Left side of this post through the two discs. Left side of this post on the bottom of the disc. Straight down to this. Okay, from here we're going to go around this left side wheel. Go around the big wheel. This is your sensor wheel. You want to do one full rotation. Then back around to the left side of this post. Again, another little tensioner. You want to be underneath both these. Then we're going to go on the right side of the take-up lever. Alright, from the right side of the take-up lever, we come down here. We have two barrels up top. We want to go on the right side, down through the bottom. And as you see, this little lever will expose your little check spring here. So we're going to go from the right side through this check spring. And then we're going to go up to the left side of that barrel. Now, you see the check spring moving. This lever should be, we'll take it all the way up. 1, 2, 2 or 3 down. This is a good position. We'll go straight up through the right side of the take-up lever to the left. And then straight down through this little eyelet. Down through this eyelet. Down to the needle. Let me get a nice clean edge. And then through the foot, up to your little spring. With your machine, your power cord goes here. Plug it into the wall, and the machine will adapt from 110 to 220 by itself. And here's your power switch. It's a rocker switch. You just go to the right to power on. Alright, we're going to talk about the anatomy of the Redline. This is basically the stand for the machine. The machine itself is here. The control unit, emergency button, thread rack, our tubing, tensioners, take-up levers. This is a check spring for tensions, and of course our needles and pressure feeder down below. Throat plate, rotary hook, bobbin case. This is your keeper. Main shaft is right here, and we have a window on the side here as well. And then this window would be 100 degrees as your stop position. And if your stop position is off, you can actually push this in and rotate this around. You can see up front with the take-up lever moving as well. We can rotate this to 100 degrees, looking through the window, or we can actually go to the machine and hit 100 here. This will cycle it to 100 automatically. Next lever would be this color change unit. We can turn this manually back and forth to whatever needle we need to go to. You kind of get a flat spot that should tell us where we are on position. So at 0 degrees we're off needles, we're in between needles. What we're going to do is rotate this around until we get a number. There's number 4. So we're actually on needle 4 now, directly above the throat plate. So if you ever get an error code about needles, check your window here. If it's at 0, just rotate this to the next color that you're close to, 3 or 4. Your emergency button, if it ever gets pushed, will automatically shut the machine down. When you try to power the machine on, it's going to trip it back to off because your emergency button is in the lock position. With the emergency button, what we're going to do is turn this, rotate it clockwise, it'll pop up. And now you'll be able to turn the switch back on. And it will not trip. Green light is always going to be on here while you're sewing, and when it has the thread break, this will turn red. I'll go ahead and give you an example here. And on your screen it shows you there's a little thread break there. The switch here has no function on the single head, but it does for the multi-heads. Now we're going to replace the needle. Loosen your set screw here. Don't go too far because this will all fall out. Pull down your needle. Get your replacement needle. You have a scarf of the needle, which is kind of like a half moon shape. You want this to the back of the machine, facing backwards. Push your needle all the way up, and then if you have this, you can use this. This is a needle alignment tool you can put on the front, and you can rotate this to find where the eye of the needle is straight. Tighten up your set screw. Okay, this is with the magnet alignment tool, straight on. Needle facing forward, scarf of the needle to the back. If you put your needle in backwards, it will look like this one here. Scarf of the needle is to the front. When you try to sew with this needle in backwards, it will break thread immediately, maybe within 5 stitches.
There we go.
laser light is here for trace mode. This will turn the laser on and off. Laser's on. Your laser light is attached underneath the thread rack, and that points down to the throat plate for viewing. If this is bumped maybe from shipping or putting the machine on the stand, you can adjust this here. There is a way to move this. I mean, you can manually actually just kind of move this around until you line it up with the throat plate. Our light for viewing the embroidery is right here. You can turn this on for viewing. And if you don't want this on, you just turn this back off.